You've probably come across those viral clips showing Indian street food and thought to yourself, do people actually eat that? We'll talk about the food soon. But first, I have to admit something. India was one of the few countries where I got really bad stomach problems almost every day. I'm not exaggerating. It happened daily. You can't even safely drink the water from the shower because water contamination is a serious problem there. Today, we're going to look into a question that many visitors have. Why is India considered such a dirty place? Comment your location so I can see where we're all connecting from. A land of impossible contrasts. Let me start with something that will blow your mind about India's diversity. Kerala, known as God's own country. This southern state features pristine beaches, crystal clear backwaters. Then you have the Himalayas in the north, where the landscape is so dramatic it literally takes your breath away. Here's what most people don't know. The Himalayas were once underwater. The salt you buy in stores today often comes from ancient sea crystals left behind when these mountains rose from the ocean floor millions of years ago. The Ganges River is considered the most sacred waterway in Hinduism. Millions of people believe that bathing in its waters will purify their souls and wash away their sins. But here's the shocking part that most outsiders never learn. Corpses are placed in the same river where people bathe, drink, and perform religious ceremonies. During the COVID pandemic, this practice became international news when bodies in advanced stages of decomposition were found floating downstream. The images were so disturbing that even local authorities had to intervene. Yet, for millions of Hindus, this remains a sacred tradition that connects them to thousands of years of spiritual practice. The same water that's considered holy enough to cure spiritual ailments is also contaminated enough to cause serious illness in anyone who drinks it. Dharavi, the billion-dollar slum. Dharavi, located in the heart of Mumbai, is officially the world's largest slum. But calling it just a slum is like calling New York just a city. This place is an economic powerhouse that generates over $1 billion annually. 1 million people living in an area smaller than Central Park in Manhattan. The population density is so extreme that some alleyways are so narrow you have to turn sideways to squeeze through. People cook, bathe, work, and raise families in spaces smaller than most American closets. Despite these conditions, Dharavi residents have created a thriving economy. They process waste from across India, manufacture products sold on Amazon, and run businesses that export goods internationally. A house in this slum costs $25,000, and monthly rent is around $160. They even have private schools charging $450 per year in tuition. Many residents choose to stay even when they can afford to leave. They've built a community so tight-knit and economically integrated that moving elsewhere would mean losing their livelihood and social connections. Street food. Indian street food is legendary. But some preparation methods will make you question everything you thought you knew about food safety. There's a bread preparation technique that involves tucking dough under the vendor's armpit to flatten it before frying. Yes, armpit bread is a real thing. The vendor must be completely odor-free to perform this technique, and it's considered a traditional method passed down through generations. Then there's the red ant sauce called chapra, made from the bodily fluids and eggs of red ants. The ants are dried, ground up, and mixed with salt and sweetener. The sauce has a sweet and spicy taste because the ants contain formic acid. This isn't some tourist gimmick. It's a genuine regional specialty in Chhattisgarh state. But here's what's fascinating. Despite preparation methods that would horrify health inspectors anywhere else in the world, millions of Indians eat this food daily without major issues. Their digestive systems have adapted to handle bacteria levels that would hospitalize most foreigners. It's like they've developed a superpower that the rest of us lack. The fire pan is another example. Vendors literally set the food on fire before placing it in your mouth. It's a mixture of spices, dried fruits, and herbs wrapped in betel leaf, then ignited. When you close your mouth, the fire goes out immediately. But the experience is unforgettable. The sacred cow economy. Cows are considered sacred in Hinduism, which means they cannot be killed for food. But this goes far beyond just dietary restrictions. In West Bengal, cows are required to have ID cards to prevent cattle smuggling and protect them from harm. These animals roam freely through city streets, causing traffic jams and creating unique urban challenges. They sleep wherever they want, eat from garbage piles, and nobody can legally remove them. During the COVID pandemic, some Hindu devotees would visit cow shelters weekly to bathe in cow's milk and smear mixtures of cow urine and dung on their bodies, believing it would boost their immunity. While no medical professionals recommended this practice, people did it with complete faith in its effectiveness. There's even an annual festival called the Battle of Pittakala, where people throw chunks of cow dung at each other. Participants often get injured, but villagers believe their wounds will heal within 3 days due to the sacred nature of the cow dung. What surprised you most so far? Have you ever experienced anything similar in your travels? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed because the next 5 facts get even more incredible. Transportation chaos. Indian transportation defies every rule of logic and safety you've ever learned. Buses and trains operate at capacity levels that would be considered dangerous anywhere else in the world. People travel on rooftops, hang from doorways, and squeeze into spaces that seem physically impossible. If you need to get somewhere, there's always room for one more person. No matter how crowded a bus or train appears, Indians will find a way to accommodate additional passengers. It's like they've mastered the physics of human compression. The concept of waiting in line doesn't exist in the traditional sense. Tourists who spend hours forming orderly queues often watch locals bypass them in seconds through a complex system of social navigation that outsiders can't understand. It's not rudeness, it's a different cultural approach to managing crowds and resources. Cars, buses, bicycles, rickshaws, animals, and pedestrians share the same space in what looks like complete disorder but somehow results in relatively few accidents considering the volume. Marriage traditions. Now we're entering territory that will completely challenge your understanding of marriage and relationships. The Toda tribe in southern India practices something called group marriage, where multiple men marry a single woman. The wedding night ceremony involves the bride having intimate relations with each husband in a specific order prescribed by tradition. This isn't about satisfying desires. It's considered essential for establishing spiritual and emotional bonds within the marriage group. The practice is believed to create harmony and balance among all participants. This tradition exists in the same country that created the Kama Sutra, the world's most comprehensive guide to intimate relationships. India has always had a complex relationship with sexuality, combining conservative social norms with ancient texts that explore human intimacy in extraordinary detail. These practices remind us that marriage, which many consider a universal institution, actually varies dramatically across cultures. What seems impossible or inappropriate in one society can be sacred and meaningful in another. Do you want to know why people in one country have to buy water every single day? If you'd like to learn more about this place, I've added a link at the top corner of the screen. I've also included a direct link to it in the pinned comment below this video. And don't forget to come back, because in the next part you'll see a truly shocking rituals. The Aghori Monks and Cannibalism. Here's where things get truly shocking. India is home to one of the world's last remaining cannibalistic societies, the Aghori Monks. These ascetics live primarily in Varanasi and practice extreme forms of spirituality that include consuming human flesh. According to Aghori beliefs, confronting and overcoming the taboo helps them achieve deeper understanding of human nature and transcend physical limitations. They perform rituals in cremation grounds, meditate among bodies, and consume flesh as part of their spiritual practice. You can spot Aghori monks in Varanasi because they wear minimal clothing, paint their faces in bright colors, and cover themselves. They often ask for donations in exchange for making sacred marks with human ashes on visitors' foreheads. This practice connects to India's complex caste system. The people who handle cremations and maintain the burning grounds typically belong to the Dalit caste, formerly known as untouchables. They're considered the lowest level of Indian society and are often responsible for tasks deemed impure by Hindu tradition. The world's most dangerous island. Not all of India is welcoming to outsiders. North Sentinel Island, located in the Andaman Sea, is considered the most dangerous place on Earth due to its isolated Sentinelese tribe. These people have lived in complete isolation for thousands of years and violently resist any contact with the outside world. The Sentinelese attack anyone who approaches their island because they have no immunity to common diseases like the flu or common cold. A simple virus that causes minor symptoms in most people could wipe out their entire population. In 2018, an American missionary named John Allen Chow was killed while attempting to evangelize the tribe. His death highlighted the tragic consequences of forced contact with isolated populations. The Indian government now maintains a strict exclusion zone around the island to protect both the tribe and potential visitors. This situation perfectly illustrates India's incredible diversity. In the same country, where you'll find bustling cities with millions of people, There's also a community so isolated they represent humanity's last connection to prehistoric ways of life. A universe of thousands of gods. India's religious complexity goes far beyond what most people imagine. Hinduism includes thousands of different gods and goddesses, each with unique characteristics, powers, and purposes. From Brahma, the creator, to Kali, the destroyer. The pantheon is so vast that many Indians spend their entire lives learning about different deities. What's fascinating is that from childhood, many Indians choose a personal favorite deity to worship primarily while still respecting the entire pantheon. This creates a religious system that's simultaneously unified and incredibly diverse. This diversity extends to festivals and celebrations. The Thaipusam festival in Tamil Nadu features devotees piercing their skin with hooks and needles, carrying heavy decorative structures, and even flagellating themselves to show devotion to Murugan, the destroyer god. Some studies suggest that the mental and emotional state of participants, combined with religious belief and endorphin release, may influence their ability to endure pain without bleeding or experiencing normal discomfort levels. This is just the beginning of our journey through India's hidden realities. We've covered the first 10 mind-blowing facts, but there are 5 more that will completely transform your understanding of this incredible country. Bizarre modern professions born. Here's where modern India gets really creative in solving problems that don't exist anywhere else in the world. The country has developed entirely new professions that sound like something from a comedy sketch but are actually serious businesses. Wedding detectives have become one of India's fastest-growing professions. There are now over 15,000 wedding detectives operating across the country. Their job is investigating potential marriage partners to uncover infidelity, hidden relationships, or undisclosed past marriages. In a society where arranged marriages are still common and family reputation is crucial, these detectives have become essential service providers. But even stranger is Mumbai's army of spit inspectors. These undercover agents patrol the streets specifically to catch people spitting in public and find them on the spot. This profession exists because millions of Indians chew pan, a mixture of betel leaf and areca nut that produces a reddish stain when spat out. The result is red stains covering white walls, sidewalks, and buildings throughout Indian cities. You'll see no spitting signs everywhere in India. On taxi backs, rickshaw windows, and building facades. The spit inspectors work undercover, blending into crowds until they catch someone in the act. It's like having secret police, but for saliva control. Street-level innovation. The ingenuity of ordinary Indians will absolutely blow your mind. Living in the world's most populated country with limited resources has created a culture of innovation that makes Silicon Valley look like amateur hour. Need your umbrella fixed? There's a guy on every corner who can repair it with materials that cost pennies. Want a haircut? Barbers set up shop on sidewalks with nothing but a mirror. In the scissors, an incredible skill. Your bones feeling out of alignment. Street-side bone adjusters will crack your spine right there on the pavement. But it gets even more specialized. There are traveling ear cleaners who move from neighborhood to neighborhood with tiny tools designed to remove earwax safely. Professional callus and bunion removers work with precision that would impress podiatrists. These aren't desperate people doing whatever they can to survive. These are skilled professionals who've mastered their crafts. The most impressive part is the customer service mentality. If you need something, anything, someone in India has figured out how to provide it efficiently and affordably. This isn't just about making money. It's about solving problems creatively with whatever resources are available. This innovation extends to larger systems too. India's railway network covers over 63,000 kilometers and transports millions of passengers daily. It's one of the world's largest and most complex transportation systems, connecting cities, towns, and remote villages across the entire subcontinent. The Sadhus and festivals of extreme devotion. Sadhus are Hindu ascetics who renounce all material possessions in pursuit of spiritual enlightenment, but their practices go far beyond simple meditation and prayer. Many sadhus attend religious festivals completely naked, carrying swords, and covered in ash from cremated bodies. They've given up everything most people consider essential for survival: homes, families, regular food, and even clothing. Yet they're revered as holy men who've achieved spiritual levels most people can't imagine. The most extreme example is the Thaipusam festival, where devotees take their skin, tongues, and cheeks with hooks and needles. Some participants carry kavadis, decorative structures that can weigh over 100 pounds, while metal hooks take their backs and chests. What's scientifically fascinating is that many participants report feeling no pain during these rituals. Research suggests that intense religious focus, combined with adrenaline and endorphin release, can actually suppress pain signals to the brain. It's like they enter an altered state of consciousness where normal physical limitations don't apply. These festivals aren't tourist attractions or cultural performances. They're genuine expressions of faith where people voluntarily endure extreme physical challenges to demonstrate their devotion to specific deities. A nation transforming itself against impossible odds. Here's something that gives hope despite all the challenges we've discussed. India is actively working to solve its problems, and the scale of these efforts is absolutely staggering. The cleanliness issues we've mentioned aren't ignored by Indians themselves. Across the country, volunteers, NGOs, and government programs are implementing massive cleanup initiatives. Some cities have introduced creative solutions like recycling incentives and plastic reduction programs that are actually working. The poverty statistics are real. 35% of Indians live on just a few dollars per day. But the economic growth is also real. India has one of the world's fastest growing economies, and that growth is starting to translate into improved living conditions for millions of people. What's remarkable is how this transformation is happening. It's not just top-down government programs. It's grassroots innovation combined with traditional values and modern technology. Villages are getting internet access that connects them to global markets. Farmers are using smartphone apps to get better prices for their crops. Students in remote areas are accessing world-class education through online platforms. The education factor is crucial here. The dirtiest and most challenging areas are typically in regions where education access has been limited. But as literacy rates improve and educational opportunities expand, you can see immediate improvements in sanitation, health practices, and economic development. This isn't about making excuses for problems. It's about understanding that change in a country of 1.4 billion people happens differently than change in smaller nations. The scale is so massive that even small percentage improvements affect millions of lives. Architectural wonders that defy time and logic. Let's end with something that showcases India's incredible capacity for creating beauty that lasts for thousands of years. The country is home to architectural marvels that make modern construction look primitive by comparison. The Meenakshi Amman Temple in Madurai is a masterpiece of Dravidian architecture that took over 600 years to complete. Its intricately carved towers, called gopurams, are covered in thousands of colorful sculptures depicting gods, goddesses, and mythological scenes. The level of detail is so extraordinary that you can spend hours examining just one small section. But even more impressive are the Ajanta caves in Maharashtra. These aren't just caves. They're entire temples carved directly into solid rock cliffs. The paintings inside date back to the 2nd century BC and are some of the oldest and best preserved rock art in the world. The techniques used to create these paintings are so advanced that modern conservators are still trying to understand how ancient artists achieved such lasting colors and detail. What's mind-blowing is that these caves were carved entirely by hand, using only basic tools. The precision required to create rooms, pillars, and intricate sculptures inside solid rock demonstrates engineering and artistic skills that rival anything we can do today with modern technology. These architectural achievements represent something profound about Indian civilization. While dealing with all the challenges we've discussed, poverty, overpopulation, sanitation issues, Indians have also created some of humanity's most beautiful and enduring artistic expressions. What surprised you most about these facts? Have you ever experienced anything similar in your travels? Or do you have questions about specific aspects of Indian culture we covered today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I personally read every comment and respond to as many as possible. If you found this deep dive into real Indian life fascinating, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. Next week, I'm releasing a video about the hidden realities of life in Dubai that will completely change how you think about one of the world's most misunderstood societies. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the real India. Remember, the world is far more complex and interesting than any single perspective can capture. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll uncover more hidden truths about our fascinating world. Aghori Monks.
We're so glad you were here with us today. Leave a comment, like the video to support us, and hit subscribe for more. Catch you soon.